morning. I'm Lori.
And I'm Tricia.
Trista's got a little bit of a cold, but we wanted to really spend a little time today on this conversation we're having about abundance, but it's more of the abundance inquiry. Um, and it, for me, it started last week when I was in yoga, and the teacher said, I allowed the abundance in my life, into my life. And I realized one of the unquestioned assumptions I've had over the course of my life is that abundance equals money. I know that, and I'm just being fully transparent here. And I've kind of put myself on an abundance understanding journey, but it made me realize that maybe it's worth having a conversation about what is abundance and what is it to me. And before we started talking, Tricia was telling me a story about some nidra work she was doing. So I'm gonna let you talk about it, Trish, what you were feeling into.
Okay. So I'm going through a yoga nidra certification class. And one of the things that I'm required to do for certification is do a one yoga nidra practice for 40 days. So my practice that I'm doing is sankalpa, which is setting an intention. And the intention for myself is that I am a full whole being now. And so in my nidra practice the other day, as I was repeating my sankalpa, which we repeat it 3 times during the practice, and the question arose, what does that look like? What does that feel like? And I realized, I don't know, because I'm always working with what's the work I need to do to get there, not what is there. What
Right.
is there? Yeah, what does there feel like and look like? And I honestly realized I don't have a clue because it's always been this out there
Someday,
place.
somehow, but if I study longer or I become something else or yeah, the
Right.
proverbial
Once,
who moved my cheese and I'm the one moving my cheese.
right. Once I'm enlightened, yeah, then they'll get it. And yeah, so that just intrigued me. And I'm looking forward to really exploring this. What does that feel and look like?
Right.
And stay tuned. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons why I think, because Trisha's sick today, so she's not feeling all that great. But I wanted to start this process of the inquiry because abundance and prosperity is different for all of us. And, when I am whole and complete, when I am now, what does that look like? And like we were saying, there is an unfoldment that is going on, but there needs to be that understanding that maybe I've been holding it at bay until, the I it, when I am whole, then I can have my abundance. When I am whole,
Right.
then I can live my best life or whatever. And I love that question that came to you and I always think when we've been taught spoken to by profoundness like that, it's so simple, but it really is like so shifting. Like, oh yeah, good question. you
Yeah,
know
right. I never thought about that. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's I love that it came to you in Nidra, and I also love that's where it is our inner wisdom, the inner part of us that says, well, okay, well, what about that? What does abundance look like? And those are my words because that's the topic we were choosing for today. But what does wholeness look like for you? Like, what does a complete full being feel like, not just look like? And one of the things you said before we started recording, I think, was, I can get closer to what it feels like, but I have no idea what it looks like. I thought that was quite profound too.
Yeah, I find the whole thing very intriguing and kind of exciting. And it makes me think when I first got interested in yoga, I know it was because I wanted enlightenment. and I wanted to enlighten because I'm sure that would mean I didn't have problems anymore, or I would figure everything out really quick and not have to suffer so much. And but I never really understood what is enlightenment, right? And what does it feel like, and what does it look like, and why do I think that's better than where I am and what I have? And those are the questions that I've just never really spent time with. It's just always been, get on the path, do the work, get to work, open the book, sweat the whip, crack the whip, and yeah, get into the studio and learn how to do handstand and stuff like that, instead
Right.
of, right, what does it just feel like to have that in your heart and to be who you are now?
Right.
So,
You know,
so
it
yeah.
reminded me of like that quote, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water.
Right,
Uh,
exactly. Thich Nhat Hanh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It, it is. You think and that was one of the reasons I even considered that, oh, we should talk about enlightenment, because we we look at it like this holy grail of, like you said, if when I'm enlightened, then the money and the abundance and the people and the this and that, and no problems, and I'll never have to have a root canal again. I don't know what it is, but uh, it's a it's it's seeing for me, it feels like, oh, you get to see life in a whole different way, and not all the time. Just there is magical times, and sometimes the magic becomes more and more and more and more, and it goes from 40% maybe to 50%, maybe if you're lucky. I have no idea, but
Right.
yeah, it you feel differently, and you allow yourself to realize, hey, I'm in the juice of earthing and humaning, and that's one of the joys of a soul on earth, right? I come here for that contrast, and for the sniffy, and the stuff dripping down the
Right.
hill. And it's like, what? It's like, yeah, maybe.
Right. Right. It definitely is a human state.
Right. And that's not a bad thing. We might judge it as bad, but it is a part of being all of it, here, living, enjoying, playing, sniveling. They're all part of experiencing, right?
Right. And that makes me, I want to share this short poem from a book called For Lovers of God Everywhere by Roger Housden. It's short and sweet, and it's from St. Teresa of Siena, and it's called This Place of Abundance. We know nothing until we know everything. And that's something to remember too.
Mm.
Until we know everything. I have no object to defend, for all is of equal value to me. I cannot lose anything in this place of abundance I found. If something my heart cherishes is taken away, I just say, Lord, what happened? And 100 more appear.
Mm. Read that
So,
again. I love that sentence about this place of abundance I've found. I think it is an energetic, place. We were talking last week about being welcoming, that place of, I'm just in that space.
all right. We know nothing until we know everything. I have no object to defend, for all is of equal value to me. I cannot lose anything in this place of abundance I found. If something my heart cherishes is taken away, I just say, Lord, what happened? And 100 more appear.
Mm. Yeah, boom, 100 more.
Right, right.
There's just like,
Abundance is not one thing. Right.
well, and that when I was writing about, it's an and. I when I was at my silent retreat last year, I had one of those knee-jerk moments like you had, and I got, and is the most important word in the English language. So much so I put it on a t-shirt. I got this t-shirt that says and I and I found that was so profound in that we have this this tyranny of the the idea that or this or that, this, health or sickness, happiness or sadness, and the allows us to do what we do as a soul, which is embrace it all. Like she was saying, there is no judgment around which is more appropriate. It's all, and that's the abundance that we're not even gifted with. That's not the right word. That we just know as truth is there's an and where we live in the world of um, and so I think this inquiry that you're going to undertake, and that's why we wanted to record today, was this inquiry that we're undertaking isn't so much the answer to abundance or the answer to what then, if you are whole. Let's assume you are whole. Then what does that look like? Let's assume you're abundant. Let's assume you're unlimitedly wealthy. Let's assume that. Then what does it, how does that show up in your life? Because sometimes it's different for all of us, right?
Definitely. We all have a different purpose. We all have a different soul purpose.
And we all have different desires and urges and things that, make us excited. I was saying I was bedazzling all weekend, me playing with paint and glitter, that's my thing. But that's when I'm in my abundance place. But that's not for everyone. It could be nature. But knowing that, I think that appreciation of understanding yourself enough, so when you're in your abundance place, like in the poem, you just feel so settled. Or I don't know, I guess I feel settled. How do you feel when you're in your abundance place?
I don't know. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going
Good.
to be exploring that. Right. I feel in this moment, I don't even want to decide what that is. I want to experience it in multiple ways.
And yeah.
And right. I want an and.
Yes, I love that. And I love the allowing it to show up, or all of it. Yeah, I love the query is a beautiful thing. So,
Yes.
and one of the things I was feeling that at some point we'll talk about is those unquestioned assumptions. The things that I was saying, I have this like glass ceiling. Like there's things that I allow certain amount of abundance or certain amount of joy or whatever, but I've put a glass ceiling on myself with these unquestioned assumptions. So at some point we'll talk about those, but I think right now just marinating in the inquiry of,
Right.
what all does that, and allow it to show up instead of answering that, or let your mind answer it, journal it all out, write it all out, and then say, and now I'm open to seeing more, feeling more, understanding more. I'm allowing myself the exploration. Here's what I think it is based on everything I've done to this point, but what is it? What how would that divine part?
Right. Right. How does it feel from my heart? What's the feeling of it? Not what's the thought or projection of what that looks like, but how does it really feel from my heart? So that's my exploration.
It's a good one.
I'm
Sometimes
excited.
really helps that too, right? Your brain's like, I can't think anymore. And so your body's like, finally, I get to have some information.
Right. Right. Will you just shut up? Yeah. Give me some space.
That's why I think the 40 days of Nidra is a brilliant, I mean, it's a big commitment. It's a Lenten, interesting commitment. Um, but it also allows for that deepening, getting past what you think it is, and then letting what it,
Right. What it actually is. Yeah. Letting the truth of what it is really show up.
right.
Yeah.
That's what
Definitely.
you said. I'm looking forward to seeing. That's what the rest of this 40 days is going to kind of show me. Or you could put it in your words, but I thought, oh, that's brilliant. So
So soon to be reported on.
Yes, yes. Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and spend some time in your abundance inquiry and your prosperity inquiry. Let yourself wonder two things, you know, it feels like, what is it to me? And also, if I was there, what would it feel like? Right? That's the two kind of questions to journal on, or, let while you're driving in the car or just sitting around waiting for something, let that bubble up and let yourself share with you, like you were experiencing. Well, what does that look like? Juicy. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Bye, everyone. Stay healthy.
Namaste.